were with me the other day, and I hope you were on the last video I did here. Last time I was out here, I was showing you over here that they put a pipe in here, and they put a pipe sleeve. You can see that little black pipe right there. It's just a small little piece cut from there just to there. And see, this is where the main water line's going to come into the house, and it's going to come in right here. And I was talking to the guy, and he says, yeah, it's going to come in there. But what I didn't realize is I have a feeling they're not going to be able to use that. And here's the reason why. We live in an area that gets snow in the winter. And usually what happens, at least at our house and most of the houses in the neighborhood, your main water line that goes from your house to the street is dug down about 2 feet or so, because you don't want that pipe to freeze if it gets up too close, if it's not deep enough, which means when it comes in here, this pipe coming in should be about at least 2 feet deep, maybe even a little bit deeper than that, and then they'll run it. The rest, they'll put a gate valve or something on the outside, and they'll do some other stuff on the outside, and then they'll run it in to the house. But what I've seen is they actually run that pipe 2 feet deep all the way down, and then come up inside. Okay, and you don't want to be 2 feet deep and then have it come in here and then have it come up and then slither in underneath right there, because that's not 2 feet deep. That pipe, the main water line, would be liable to possibly freeze. And so I have a feeling they're not going to use that, or if they do, the inspector might shoot them down. So I think that's gonna. I'll have to keep my eye on that, but I have a feeling the main water line's gonna want to go in and be about 2 feet deep, and then come up and then connect in everything. And before it comes in here, they'll have a gate valve that's about 2 feet down into the ground, and they'll have a pipe come up with a cap on it so that you can lift that and then reach down there with a little arm of some sort to shut the water on, turn it off and turn it on. You see what I mean? And so I'm kind of curious on that. We'll have to check on that another time. But see, I see they've actually done quite a bit on the plumbing. The water lines, the hot and cold water lines through there, and the drain lines. That's what all the black piping is. And now that this area is done, I know he'll be moving on, and I see there's some more piping here, but see over there and over there, you can't really see it. I can see it here. That has not been done yet. So another day has gone by. One more slight delay because they weren't out here during the day. They just worked in the afternoons and after work and stuff. Now see here, he's done the same thing. He's made that loop. I'm not sure why he's made that loop, but hey, he's got his reasons, and we just look in over here. See, here's all of his piping and stuff. He looks like he's brought some extra stuff, because remember the first time there was no red and blue. It was just the writing on the clear ones were red and blue. Now he's got some actual red pipes and blue pipes there. And see, he's made his main runs. You can see where they've been drilled through the TJIs. Okay, and they're they're coming from that way, and we know where the main water line is coming in from there. And so see, he's extended this over. I can see where he hasn't connected them yet. He's just, you see there, right in there. He hasn't connected them yet. He's just mainly ran the trunk lines over, and then he'll add his piping off of there, his tees and that kind of stuff. I showed you this the other day, and see, he still has to get this up out of the floor. And I like how they just run it. They just have those little clips and with a little nail strap right there, and the pipes still go over there, and see, they stop right there. They're just stopped for right now, and he'll extend them over there, and he'll extend them over to these pipes here. And just show you, see, he's got to have hot and cold water over here. This is where a lavatory is. Here's where a hose bib goes. Here's some other stuff where he'll have a sink. It says lav, L-A-V, hot water, cold water. I'm looking at it upside down because we know the cold water stays on the right and the hot water stays on the left. So if I were to go like that, then you can see hot water's on the left, then you've got your drain, and then here's a tub vent right there. All this stuff still needs to be strapped. His water lines need to come over here still. And hey, it's a work in progress is what it is. He's got that capped off, and he's going to run this later. He said for all the drains, see right there it says drain, for his showers, for his tubs. He says, oh, I wait until all the plywood's down, and then he'll cut holes in the floor for the showers and stuff, and then he'll know how high to raise this up and where to adjust his drain, whether or not it's going to be flush with the floor, with a some other connections, and then from there he can measure from down below and then work up. So yeah, he's going to have to do some crawling underneath the house and that kind of stuff. And so it looks like the next step after the plumbing, obviously, is the air conditioning, and I'm sure there's some air conditioning registers over there. They'll have to put the registers. They'll have to figure out if there's any interior walls. Like we saw that there was some interior walls where the plumbing went and stuff. They're going to have to measure all that same type of thing that the plumbers did, so that they get their registers X amount of inches off of the wall, so they all look the same and uniform and all that kind of good stuff. So that's all going to be coming up, and hopefully I'll be able to show you that. I'm going to be going out of town next week to go see my mother and visit with her for a week or so. So I'm sure they're going to have more work done. In fact, they might even have this insulation down on the floor, their inspections done, the plywood down next time I come out here. Who knows? If they do, then I'll figure out how to get underneath the floor so that I can show you certain things on the air conditioning, ductwork, connections, strapping, that kind of stuff, and show you the insulation, how they did. And I'm sure they're going to do that webbing stuff, staple it, run it across, staple it, up and down, and they'll probably do just a U-shaped deal, whoop, whoop, and then run the netting there so that when they install their insulation later on, the insulation won't fall down through here. Now at our house, they didn't put the netting. They actually did the insulation from down below, and they ran it up, and then they had some wires, little pieces of wire, and then they would shove the wire up and then have it loop down and then just kind of poke it, and it would just kind of set on here, spring tension, and then that would help the insulation from preventing it from falling down later. I kind of think they did that because they installed the insulation underneath the floor after the flooring was done. But see, when you install your insulation first, they're probably going to do that webbing stuff, is my guess. Okay, so pick your poison. Decide when you're going to do your insulation. Doesn't it make sense to install the flooring insulation from the top, and so you can step down on here and all that kind of stuff first, and instead of working underneath? Okay, I'm sure that's how they're going to do it. And speaking of that too, you know what else they're going to put down on the floor, and I don't know when they're going to do it or not, but it sure seems like after all of the air conditioning gets done, after all the plumbing gets done, and that gets all inspected, after all the insulation gets done, or before the insulation goes down, they might want to clean up all the shavings, all the wood shavings down here. All that stuff's got to be cleaned up. Okay, and then most houses around here have visqueen plastic, heavy gauge plastic, 20-foot wide pieces and stuff, and then they'll put it down on the ground, and that's something like for a vapor barrier. The inspection department, you'll just have to check with your inspectors in your county or city and see if they require that. But most places around here, they require it. And so wouldn't this be a good time to put it down after all the air conditioning guys get done, after the plumbers get done, prior to the insulation being installed? That's what I would do. Worst case scenario, if they don't, somebody's going to have to crawl in here later, a couple guys with the insulation, and then roll it out. It's not going to be that difficult. There's about 3 feet of crawl space, and so there's plenty of room for them to do that. But another thing to consider, for sure. Hey, well, that's all I got for this time. But I'll be back with more videos. And I hope you're enjoying the videos I'm making. I'm coming here every couple days and to see what they've been doing, so that I can explain to you and show you what's going on, so that you'll know step by step the different things that you have to do, or the things that are involved for building a house. Okay, that's what these videos are for, and I'll have them all on my channel area under how to build a house or something like that, and you find them there. And all the videos that I make out here on the job site, I'll be posting there. So look for them on my channel.